Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a huge favor and click that subscribe button down below for content like this and many more. For all your current subscribers, I just want to continue to say thank you so much for the support. I finally made it to 1,000 subscribers, and that's all thanks to you guys and for everybody watching, liking, sharing my videos. Thank you all so much. Now, what do I have next to me? This is the 2023 11th generation Honda Accord Sport Hybrid. I'm gonna talk about it, go over all the tech features, the differences between the previous generation. You guys see the lights flickering on camera. That's just the way enforcing LED lighting looks on camera, but in real life it does not flicker. Stay tuned, that's coming up next. And before I go, I just wanna give a big thanks to Honda. Thank you, Honda, so much for giving me the opportunity to review my first Honda press vehicle in my home test area. Thank you all again, and that's coming up next. Okay, let's talk 2023 Honda Accord Sport Hybrid. Sadly, gone is the 2-liter turbo, which was very nice, and everybody, of course, is complaining and crying and missing it. This is the 11th generation of the Honda Accord, so it is completely all new from the ground up. So starting in the front end, sadly, the internet can be mean, and this car has been trolled and been called a Ford Focus in the front, Chevy Malibu, all those things, which I think is a little hilarious. But overall, I think the car looks, in my opinion, I think it looks good. All versions of the Accord, every single one of them come with this black grille. Being that this is the sport one, being that this is the sport model, excuse me, you do have this shiny little lip spoiler on all around. Headlights are all LED, turn signal, daytime running lights, everything, high, low beam is LED. And the sport one gets these blacked out mirrors and a little spoiler, which I'll show on the walk around. Wheels are 19-inch wheels wrapped in Goodyear Eagle tires, 235 40-inch sitting on 19-inch. Overall, I think the car looks good. I think people are just freaking out because of the difference, but I don't think it looks that bad. You know, it has a very mean, angry look a little bit here with the slim headlights. You know, and going around the side, I like the body lines. It's very subtle, very, you know, stealthy. Black mirror caps because this is the sport version. Non-sport models get body color mirrors. And let's walk around the outside. Oh, and before I continue, it has completely full keyless entry. So you put your hand on the door handle, the vehicle unlocks, and you can lock it with pressing this three little rivets right here. The car right now is on, and that's why it's yelling at me. But anyway, walking around the back, you know, the styling is different. Full LED taillights and headlights, including the turn signals, which is interesting. Reverse, I don't know if it's LED because I haven't been behind myself, but I'm gonna take a guess that it is. Honda badge is shrunk a little bit back here, so it's a little smaller. Accord badge on the left, Hybrid Sport on the right. One tailpipe because this is the hybrid, and you got the little lip spoiler. And now while we're back here, let's take a look at the massive cargo trunk, which is 16.7 cubic inches, and it's absolutely massive. As you guys can see, you can fit a couple of bodies back here. Just kidding. It's very big. This one, because it's the hybrid, does not have a flat tire. A spare tire. It just has a fix a flat kit to fix your own tire on the side of the road, and which you know, it is what it is. What are you gonna do? And those seats, you can fold them by pressing these two release right here. You can fold them, but the trunk is very big. I do like the fact that when you open the trunk, it goes all the way up. It's not power operated, but it does have shocks. So if you press it, it goes all the way up because it has shocks on each side that makes it pop all the way open, which is pretty cool. So let's take a look at the power plant. of the new Honda Accord, and then we take a look at the interior, the tech, and then we go for a final drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's take a look at what's powering the all-new Honda Accord. Under this hood lives a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine, made it to an electric motor on the side. Total power is 204 horsepower and 247 pounds-feet of torque. Fuel economy is rated at 46 city, 41 highway. I've been actually getting 48 and up to 50 miles per gallon. This car is very, very efficient. This hybrid system is good. One thing that we'll see in the driving section, the car does not feel, the CVT-ness is gone, and it's decent off the line. It's actually not that slow. But let's take a look at the interior, all the tech and the features of the all-new 11th generation Honda Accord. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's take a look at the inside of the all-new Honda Accord. To get in it, of course, you can use the key, which I will show you guys what that looks like. I like how Honda makes it a nice little small key, simple. Lock, unlock, start and trunk, and then panic. Very nice, simple key. But you can get in it by just putting your hand right here in the door handle, and all doors unlock. And keep in mind, this is the sport trim, so materials they're going to be different depending on the model you have. But this trim, the materials are a little bit mixed. So you do have a little bit of hard plastic here. Well, actually soft padded plastic here, and then this is soft right here. You do have two memory for the driver, for the seat. Auto up and down off front two windows. Of course, power windows, door locks. Soft padded materials here, and then of course you got hard materials on the bottom. This has a generic branded sound system. You do get sport pedals because this is the sport trim. The seats are a little sporty-ish, you know, little bucket seats, and you know, they hold you in place and they do the job. All right, let's get inside. This car is very low, so if you're coming from an SUV, and there's a look at the 10-inch infotainment screen. So it's giving you the welcome. There's a little animation saying that it's a hybrid. And this is the biggest screen, according to Honda, fitted into a Honda. This is the new 12.3-inch screen. It comes standard in pretty much every model except the lower trims. So this has Android Automotive. So let's start the car. When you push your foot on the brake, start button is right here. And there it is. So one cool thing about this new Accord is you can, just like its sibling, the Civic, you can customize the gauge cluster, which is very cool. So I'll demonstrate that in a second. So you go here, this little wheel here, and you start scrolling until you get to maintenance. You got safety stuff, you know, no content, brightness and settings, and display settings. And check this out. So you go to gauge design, and then you can go bar, round, minimal. So if you don't want that much information, you could just, you know, becomes minimal. And check this out, how this turns into very cool, like very racy, very different gauges. So you have miles per hour up top, RPM on the left, digital speedometer, excuse me, right there, and then you got the needle on the side, digital fuel gauge and digital battery level, because this is of course the hybrid. And then you have a power flow meter. When you have navigation, this activates the navigation will display on that screen, so you can go here on the navigation. If you have navigation, it will display it. But anyway, let's continue talking about the features in here. So this vehicle does have automatic headlights. It does have Honda sensing technology with lane keep assist, lane departure. So it will steer itself for a little bit before it starts yelling at you if you let go of the wheel. These paddle shifters on the back of the wheel are not for shifting. They are for regen braking. So when you click on it, you're gonna see put the car in drive, you're gonna see the little indicator on here when you're driving to engage the region braking. Right now the car is on. As you can see, there's a little EV indicator there because the car is running on battery power, and see the little level on the left hand side. And the materials here are nice. You know, I'm not a fan of piano black. I do like the little grater, the little gated little vents, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like a joystick. It has a nice little, very satisfying little click on it. I'm sure the touring model, the material is a little premium. And speaking of the touring model adds heads-up display, which goes right here, heated steering wheel, cooling seats, a wireless charger, which will go right here. And the leather, I'm sure, is a little nicer. Full integration of Google Android Automotive, so it will add Google Maps, Google Assistant built in. But this is still running Android Automotive, just doesn't have navigation because you can just pair your phone to it. So as you can see, the system is very peppy. This is the power flow meter, so it tells you what's going on with the battery. You could charge the battery as you drive, or you can tell it to charge by pressing this button right here. And if you hold this button down, you're gonna see in the gauge cluster it says charge. And right now the car just turned on to start charging the battery, and you can see the little indicator, which is really cool, letting you know that the engine's on and sending juice to the battery. So let's go over the technology in here. And it's very simple. So if you go to vehicle settings, you have a whole presentation of the car. And this is actually the actual color of the car, which is pretty cool. And you can change it based on the color of your own vehicle. So you got TPMS calibration, meter setup, keyless access, lighting control, climate, all sorts of things that you can configure on this screen. You can, of course, change the view. So if you want something a little bit more simpler, you can just make it like so. Door setup, lighting setup, if you want the automatic headlights to turn on after 30 seconds and whatnot, because this car has automatic high beam. So very straightforward setup. Bluetooth, of course, is the devices. So you can, of course, you know, pair the devices. It does have FM, satellite. I don't think it has satellite radio. Actually, it does not. I don't know if the satellite radio might be standard on the touring trim, which is a little silly, but nonetheless, with today's smartphones, you don't need satellite radio. And that's pretty much it. Of course, it does have a backup camera. I gotta say, the resolution is not exactly the best. It's a little fuzzy. You do have different angles, so you can look straight down, which is nice. And you could do this one, because it's a little bit of a wider screen. Or you could just go back to the regular flat screen. But I think this angle here is a little better because you can kind of see more what's behind you. There is no front-facing camera in this model because it's the sport model, but you do get dual zone climate control. You do get heated seats, 3 levels. You got USB, 2 USB ports right here, a traditional shifter. Here's a different drive mode selector, so you can go from sport, individual, so you can customize your individual settings, which is kind of nice. So if you want the powertrain to be on sport, eco all the time, the steering to be sporty, and it does get a little, you notice to get a little stiffer. This, I have no idea what that is. Oh, this is the automatic cruise control, normal or eco. The gauges, if you want the gauges to change to sporty or normal. Sport, it just gets a little red and nothing really changes in terms of the way it looks. Of course, you can have a little clock. I mean, you could do so many things with this, which is very cool. Especially when you have Android Auto hooked up to it. It will show you Google Maps, Waze, and pretty much everything you have in your phone if you're running Android and if you're running CarPlay and it's wireless. And I like the continuation of this nice grille. It's very similar to the Civic, but it's a little nicer in here because this is the Accord. Nice little cubby right there. You do have a decent sized sunroof, not too small. Mirrors not dimming at all. Here's the controls for the sunroof. Everything's in here is LED, which is nice. So the days of changing bulbs and freaking out are gone. And let's take a look at the back seat, and then we go for a quick drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step inside of the back of the Honda Accord. And these cars are called mid-size sedans, but they're absolutely huge. I'm 5'8". I have plenty of leg room here. I can stretch out, plenty of headroom also. Not too bad back here. Sadly, you do not get vents or USB charging. You get that on the Touring, which is a big no-no, Honda. I mean, come on. Vents should not be a luxury feature. It's vents. No pocket behind the driver's side, but you do get pocket behind the passenger side. And that's pretty much it back here. You do have a traditional, center console, armrest, which kind of flops down a little bit, but it's okay. Not a big deal. And cup holders. And that's pretty much it back here. Nothing crazy to write about. Let's go for a drive of the 2023 Honda Accord Hybrid. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2023 Honda Accord Sport Hybrid. So, a little bit of a mouthful, but here we go. So, I will set the car to normal mode. Let's do that first. Let me just cover this here. And the only thing I've noticed, I don't know if the regular ones drive like this, but this one off the bat, being that it's the sporty one, the suspension is a little on the firm side, so you do get a little bit more communication from what's going on with the road. So right now, if I click on the left paddle and the region braking, activist region braking, which is very cool, and it's reminiscent of an electric car, which is pretty cool. And let's make a quick right over here. And one thing that this car has, it does have automatic, I forgot to mention before I continue, it does have, let me put in the power meter here so you guys can see that. It does have the power seat for the passenger, but not the same range of motion like the driver's side, which kind of sucks. So you're stuck on low for all the time. So let me put it into sport mode, and stepping on it, one thing you guys notice, it may pick up on camera, is unfortunately it has a little bit pumping audio, for, I guess, enhancing the driving experience, but it is peppy. It does pick up. It doesn't. I didn't feel like, oh my God, I need to slow down or I need to wait for cars to kind of get out of the way before I merge. But it's actually not that bad. The steering does get a little stiffer when you put it in sport mode. And stepping on it here, you guys hear that? Honda did it. Finally, Honda did the CVT-ness. The droning is gone, which is freaking cool. Because that's one of the big complaints with CVT transmissions, is that unlike an automatic, where you step on it, it goes through the gears, and it goes through 1 through whatever, 6, 10, whatever the case may be. But with CVT, when you stomp on it in the past, it would just stay there droning, and it's annoying, and yeah, not a pleasant sound. But not in here. Honda did it. Let me go back to normal mode. In normal mode, the steering does get a little softer, but the car drives great. It hugs a road. Yes, this is not a Honda Civic Type R or an SI, but for a family transportation, this is an excellent vehicle, a family of one. The trunk is ginormous at 16.7 cubic feet of space. It's very big. It's supposed to be the largest trunk in its class among its competitors, which is of course the Toyota Camry, Nissan Altima, Kia K5, Hyundai Sonata, and so on. Of course, there's no more cars on the American side because the Americans they quit on sedans, which is not a good idea. And I'm happy to see that to this day we still have sedans still exists in a SUV crazy world. And price point for this as it sits is about $35,000, give or take. And it's loaded. It does have pretty much everything you can possibly need in a car. Yeah, it doesn't have cooling seats or heated seats, but you know what? Is it the end of the world? No, it's not the end of the world. You can live without those things just fine. And it does have, the active safety suite sensing from Honda, so it will automatically brake for you. It will auto steer for you. It will come to a complete stop on its own. But overall, it's been nice driving this car around for the past week, and the range is actually excellent. Let me reset the trip computer here, and I can show you guys. So if I reset it right now, it's giving me 40 miles per gallon, give or take. But I saw 46 in my driving for this car, which is very good. So a curve like this, oh yeah, with the regen braking, it takes it like a champ. And you can drive this. You could drive this a little sporty-ish. You can open it up a little bit, and this is where sedans shine, because you can't do this. You can't drive sporty in a SUV for the most part because of physics and gravity. But anyway, I'm mumbling on here. This has been my full review of the all-new 11th generation Honda Accord. The car that the Camry wishes it disappears, but it will not, because this is a very good car. This is the 11th generation. It grew a little bit. It's all new. People got to get over the fact that it doesn't look like the old one, because it's not supposed to look like the old one. It's an all new vehicle, and get over it. It's not that bad in terms of looks. And I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subscribing. Please like, share, comment. And I do car reviews. If you're new here, I do car reviews and a little bit of DIY stuff. So how to change the air filter, how to change the cabin filter, among other things. I review pretty much everything under the sun that I can get my hands on. So electric cars, hybrid, everything. And that's pretty much it. Thank you all again for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care and stay safe.